Welcome back to the Manor. Julian McBain here, and this is my 33rd Saturday vlog. So, this is... It's not the last weekend before I get to go on vacation, but it's the last weekend I will get to do anything before I go on vacation. So, I'm actually going to be doing a shitload of recording today. On top of normal Saturday chores. Sometimes that's the downside to living in a home that you share with 4 generations is you don't always get to be the master of your own time. In my case, it's frequently the case. Like, I have not been able to dedicate a day to recording all month long. And so now, I get to spend a good chunk of today recording for pretty much a whole month. Which, you know, I'm glad I'm able to keep that buffer. But still, sometimes it's like, good lord. Now, why am I this busy? I don't want to be this busy. I've been doing a lot of thinking about, you know, how I'm trying to figure out how to do this without crossing the line and breaking one of my rules. Lots of bad shit going on these days. And there's no clear way to resolve a lot of it. And so I got my mind to thinking, you know, how can I do things that'll make things just a little bit better? Because, you know, that's the reason I do like the McBain Moments videos, right? They're little motivationals. I can't really, in 8 minutes, I can't really teach you how to set goals or anything like that. So they're not trainings or anything of that nature, but, you know, as a demographic, we as gamers tend to, for a long time, especially as older gamers, you know, I'm 35. I remember playing on my NES. That's how I spent my childhood. I was on my NES. That's all I had until I got a PlayStation. So think about that for a second. You know, I missed the SNES and the N64. Although the 64 was really the same generation as the PlayStation 1. We're often seen as recluses. I do know that a lot of us tend to suffer from a various number of mental illnesses, from depression, anxiety. We tend to be introverted, largely. At least a lot of the gamers I know. And maybe it's 50-50 now, but like when I was younger, a lot of, you know, this was pretty much how it was. And so, you know, I'm not a psychologist by any means. I don't have the raw numbers for it, but I'm sure that if we were to do a census of all gamers, throw their MBTIs or their Big 5 personality traits up onto a graph, then largely we would see a lot of I's. And, you know, I'd be among them. So I'm not throwing shade at all. You know, I'm an INTJ. But it got me to thinking, you know, I work in a job where I can't be an introvert. I am an introvert, but I can't be an introvert. I have to be able to reach out to people. I have to be able to talk to people. Almost to the point of schmoozing. Not small talk, but to be able to talk to people in a way so that I can convince them that, you know, I'm in sales, so I've got to convince them that what I have will fit their need and is the best product for the need. Right? So, because of that takes a certain amount of extroversion. And so I immerse myself. Wow. Yeah, there's more than one of me here. No, there's not. I immerse myself in sales literature. Like for the whole past year, I have read almost nothing. Well, there's been the Artemis Fowl books that I've been listening to with my son. That is a great series, by the way. I don't care how old you are. That series is freaking awesome. I want to commend the author. But I've been listening to a lot of sales literature books, life motivation, goal setting, all of these things. You know, I mean, I've been sharing it right here on my channel. I started out with Think and Grow Rich, the oldest and most important goal setting book ever made. And I think it was written like in the 30s, the 1930s. Gotta remember, we're coming up to the 20s again, but it's the 2020s. Kind of hoping swing dancing comes back. So as I'm doing this and I'm forcing myself out of that shell, you know, I'm realizing that it is doable. It's hard, but it is doable for us to overcome, or to not necessarily overcome, because it's not bad being an introvert, but it comes with challenges. And so I am slowly learning how to overcome the challenges of being an introvert and working in a job where you have to be outgoing. And so, and it's not like retail, because in retail people just walk in. And so, but in doing so, I've noticed that over time, and it's been slow and incremental. This is why I probably beat the dead horse of iteration. I've noticed that my confidence has come up, and part of that's because I do sword fighting, and the more you sword fight, the more confident you get. But my confidence has come up. I've noticed that I believe more in what I do and why I do it and why it's important. But more importantly, I see that I'm able to deal with social situations more easily, because I'm reading about, or more accurately, listening to things telling me how to process those social situations. And so, in doing so, you know, I came up with the idea that, you know, I know that there's a lot of gamers who have trouble with this, and I still struggle with it on a day-to-day basis. But it's not nearly as bad as it was, say, a year ago. And so I thought, you know, what if I could motivate those people in my community to take a look and just take that first step. Take that first step outside of themselves. And then, you know, because we all have desires. We all have things we want. For some of us, it's a lot of money. For some of us, it's to be the best person in a particular game. For some of us, it's to build a community. For others, it's to, you know, just to have the 2.5 kids in a house. You know, try to find a significant other that will complete us. I'm very fortunate I found someone who is perfect for me. But not everyone's that lucky. So when I started producing the McBain Moments videos, I was like, how can I share some of the information I have gotten from all of these resources with others in a way that makes sense to the community I'm a member of. And so I came up with McBain Moments, and So far, I've got 27 videos out. I just shot the 27 that came out yesterday. And I'm really enjoying doing them. Although it does occur to me that because I'm doing a multitude of series, this almost turns into a variety channel, which I know YouTube doesn't like so much. The algorithm is not happy with variety content, but I think that it's important that I continue to do so. I've got a very small following right now. I don't care about that. I mean, I want the subscribers. Don't get me wrong. I'm not joking when I say I'm on the road to 13 million subscribers. By the way, if you're new to the channel, please make sure you take a moment to subscribe. But it is... I've talked about that I have a list of goals. And so one of those goals, those big goals, not the little goal, it's not the meta goal, but it's part of my meta goal. It's one of the ingredients to my grand quest. Is that I help one person take one step toward whatever their goals are every day. Just one. And if I can do more than that, great. But if I can help one person take one step toward their best destiny every day, that'll be huge. Because that'll make the world better for everyone. And I've got a list of them. I think I've got 20 ingredients to my grand quest. One of which is to have a lot of money. I'm not going to deny it. I think I set the... No, I don't think. I know for a fact that I set the goal at $10 million. And I set it that high because it's that high. Extremely difficult to do. Maybe impossible for me. Don't care. That's going to be the goal. Originally it was 1, and then I read 10x. And then I set it to 10. 10x my goal. Doesn't mean I'll make it. No, doesn't mean that I'll make it. Doesn't mean I won't make it, though. Well, we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll make it, maybe I won't, but at least I'll say I tried. And even if I only get 10% of the way there, it's pretty damn good. What it comes down to is that in the end, nice. In the end, the only real way things are going to get better is if we start helping each other. If we help each other, there's a lot of people who break each other down. There's a lot of trolls out there, and there are good trolls and there are bad trolls. And here's the difference. Good trolls are people who crack sarcastic jokes about something for the sake of humor, not for the sake of breaking someone down. They do it for the sake of humor, not for the sake of breaking someone down. A joke at my for instance, I don't care if I'm the butt of a joke, as long as the joke is funny. There are a couple of long-running ones in my guild, and I'm okay with that because the jokes are funny, they're topical, and in each case I kind of totally ran into them. Not the least of which was the Alaskan accent joke. I don't know if there's a video of that in my somewhere in my archive, but what happened was we were playing World of Warcraft. I was drunk. Actually, we were all pretty toasted. And I tried cracking a joke about the fact that my girlfriend was born in Alaska. And somehow came up with Alaskan accent. Which, as we all know, Alaskans don't really have an accent. It's pretty general American. Or technically everyone has an accent, but you know what I mean. It's a general American accent, not specific to Alaska. And so that has become a running joke in my guild. And I'm okay with that because, one, I did it to myself. Two, it's funny. And so that's not what I'm talking about. Bad trolls break people down for the sake of breaking people down, and we have a lot of that today. And no place is more guilty of having people like that than Twitter. You do find some of it on YouTube, but I don't think that there is as many people who do it on YouTube as there are on Twitter. Twitter's terrible. Like, I have to be on social media for my job, and I'm looking through Twitter, and it's just terrible. It's 90% of people just breaking each other down over shit. I don't get it. Why do people get their kicks doing that? And I won't say I haven't thrown my own barbs out there when the topic irritates me enough. And I'm not saying someone's wrong on the internet, but I mean, let's face it, Twitter's pretty much the echo chamber for politics. Which I try very hard to stay away from, and I'm finding harder and harder to do so. But overall, the important thing is that, you know, if Twitter could be a very powerful device for helping each other build each other up, helping people build each other up, and instead people use it as a device to break each other down. And so I decided I needed something to help build people up. And I may do a bad job at it. I don't care. I'm trying. You know, if one person listens to a McBain moment 10 years from now, you know, maybe the series isn't even going on, but someone who's searching for something finds it, and it helps them take that first step towards something that actually helps them, then all of the hours that I've put into it are worth it. And so I would encourage you, those people who come to the Manor every week, listen to me ramble on about various things. And you might wonder why I call it the Manor. You know, why do I call it the Manor? You know, my handle is Julian McBain. That's my, you know, that's the name I go by on pretty much my entire professional life outside of my regular 9 to 5. You know, you can go and find the WoW videos. You know my real name is Paul. I'm not going to hide it. I've never hidden the fact that I'm Paul. But, you know, I go by Julian McBain for a reason, to kind of separate myself. And you're like, well, what the hell is the Manor? Can I get my sword back? Thank you. And what the Manor is it's a place for people to come and be a community. As you all know, I play in the Society for Creative Anachronism. We recreate a lot of feudal structures for the sake of having fun. And I thought, you know, there was some merit. And I'm not saying it's a good system. It's an honest system, but it's not a good system. Or I shouldn't say that. It's a functional system with a lot of problems. Like, you know, every system. But what it's about is it's when it was originally created, it was about voluntary association. And so I thought, what if I could take that core mechanic and in the SCA we call them households. What if I could take that core mechanic and build a community, an organization where people build each other up? And the thing is still in its infancy. And there's structure to it. There is a structure there. It's already, the baseline is already made. I got a long way to go, but the baseline is already made. But what if I could create a place where people could go when they need to be built up? when they need a little bit of entertainment. That's why I do the Let's Play videos. When they need to be built up, that's the McBain Moments. You know, maybe they just want to listen to something podcast style. There's the vlogs. And then for my Entropia peeps, I will always do Entropia Universe. I love the living death out of this game. And I feel like there is a need for content. Whoops. And so that's why I do what I do. Is it worth it? Well, I hope so. I think it is. I think that we need more of this type of content. The McBain Moment style. Actually, we need more Entropia Universe content. We really do. Oh, hi. I want you to do something for me. And you can comment about it or you can not comment about it. But do me a favor. If you've made it this far in the video, take a moment sometime in the next week. And do one thing to build one person up just a little bit. A random act of kindness. A piece of advice that can actually help them. You know, and sometimes that'll come in the shape of harsh truths, but I would avoid that if possible. Because if the person's not of the mind to receive the harsh truth, it's not going to help them. Sometimes it's necessary. Sometimes it's absolutely necessary. But there's a time and a place. So I would avoid that over finding something beneficial. Not beneficial, but positive. Try to find something positive and help build one person up this week. If you can do it every day, that's awesome. But I'm just asking you to find one person this week. You know, I've got 111 subscribers. If all of us were to build one person up this week, that's 112 people, because I'm including myself. And then maybe we can encourage that 112 people to do the same. And then that's 224. Maybe they do the same. And that's 336. Do you see how a small thing could easily compound into something good? It's a positive feedback loop. And this is how, this is how everything spirals out of control for the worse. Why not use that same, that's a scientific reality. That is a truth, that is a scientific truth. That positive feedback loops are a thing. And they are a core principle of reality. And so, if we can create a positive feedback loop of building people up, I think the world would be a better place. What do you think? I think right now any little thing that we can do will help. Yeah, the loot's not bad today. Oh my goodness, I'm trying to get back to the base so I can shut this down. I'm not going to shut it down in the middle of a bunch of mobs, though. Okay, we're going to slowly withdraw. No. You're a bastard. Trying not to turret this guy, though. Thank you for listening to me ramble. It's As I'm sure you all can attest, it's been a hard week. I will ask you this. When making comments, please avoid politics, avoid religion. You know my rules. But if you can think of some way to build people up, put it in the comment section. Maybe we can all build each other up just a little bit. There we go, it's clear. Which is why some random berry clit's gonna come screaming at me from nowhere. There we go. Looks like the sweat circle's in full swing up there. Okay guys, thank you for watching, thank you for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe down below. I am on the road to 13 million subscribers, one subscriber at a time. Guys, thank you so very much for all of your support. I will see you next time.